I can't see well enough sometimes to read, but my sight is very good. And I praise him every morning, and I shall praise him as long as I live, because he has been good to me. And it's so little to even forget that what he has done. You know, if we would all get together and work together, we could have love each other and be peaceful and be loving toward each other. That's what this church was built on, the love of God. This yard right here was a regular coal yard. We had this building where the soldiers from Coatland would come up, and we would entertain them on the afternoons. We'd have a musical for them program, and then we would turn it into a dance, and then from the dance, and we would serve them. And this was called, mostly used for recreation. Very interesting see, it has a lot of history. Now, the Baptist church was not there. It was on Market Street at first, and it moved down here later. And further down, as you go, you will find right in this area was what they call the New Atheline Cafe. You could get dinner for 25 cents and 15 cents. So you can see how low the prices were, and they were good dinners, just like you get now at the other restaurants. And as we drive down further, I'd like to show you where the Stirs infirmary was located.
Well, let me ask you a question. I can remember when I was coming up, it was all kind of buildings and businesses on the street.
Yes, it was. The doctor's offices were found on Vine Street, like Dr. Williams and Dr. Carwell and Dr. Pleasant's office was found on this street. And also the big cafe of Mrs. Wright's Cafe.
Okay.
And she was supposed to have had the best barbecue in town. And as we continue, these were all houses here. Every one of them in this block were houses.
But what about that great big house that used to be sitting up here in this great big oak tree, just before you got to the Boys Club?
Well, that house belonged. We never did know really who it belonged to, but it belonged to some of the names. And it was purchased, though, by Mr. Sykes in later years. And then right here on this corner where Mrs. Phillips lived was the infirmary, the Stirs Infirmary and the Stirs House. The house was here, and next door was the infirmary.
And later, it made into a funeral home. When did it change to be run as a funeral home?
After the Stirs, Dr. Stirs died and Mrs. Stirs died. And by the way, Mrs. Stirs gave the ground that the Boys Club is on.
Right here?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why they named it after them?
That's really, they named it the Stirs Boys and Club.
Okay.
Boys and Girls Club.
All right. There was another funeral home, right? Turner's.
Yeah, it was Turner's funeral home. It's further down.
Okay.
Now you see where that white car is? That was the location of the Turner funeral home.
Oh, okay. All right. So up and down Vine Street, back in the, what'd you say, 40s?
40s and 50s.
Black people had their own businesses.
They had their own business. And they also had some on Bank Street.
Oh, okay.
Brownie's place was on Bank Street. And the Magnolia Drugstore was on Bank Street, which was, the pharmacist was Mr. Sheffy. And
that's not Sykes Street. Was that named after the Sykes also?
Yes, it's one of the Sykes family.
What really amazed me is how then blacks had their own, all their businesses, and they patronized, one another. And now when you go up this street, there's no more business.
They also had a filling station on this street.
Now this right here, Canal.
Yes.
This is
This canal was just came up all at once, and this was first. Now this is, if you keep on up here, you'll find out where the Cherry Street School was.
Yeah.
This canal was very pretty at one time. Now you're gonna have to stay on this street in order to find out about Cherry Street.
Okay. So over in here, this was still a community?
No, it wasn't. It was mostly just a house now and then. And then it finally tore those houses down. And these people bought their houses here after that, had the redevelopment of
urban renewal.
Yes.
So this is the street that Cherry Street.
Cherry Street School was on. That's the reason they named it Cherry Street School.
This is the street called Paradise. You remember that?
Yes, but that came real late. That was after, way after we had changed over into redevelopment. But that came later.
And now this here is called, this center here is called
Cashin Center.
Cashin Center. Named after who?
Dr. Cashin, which was a doctor here for years. And his father was a lawyer. He was a black lawyer and black doctors. And then we had black pharmacists and dentists. Dr. Woods and Dr. Williams were the black dentists.
But and you know, if you like, I can remember. I remember the change that has taken place over here, because I can remember as a small child. I mean, this total place has been totally reformed. It's nothing like it was.
No.
Nothing. I mean, nothing. I can remember the houses, the 2 and 3 story houses where people used to live in them, the curtains hanging out the windows, and them big old houses used to be on these corners here. And, you know, they said.
Well, you see, you didn't have screens in those days. You you didn't have air conditioning. You just had God's wind.
That's right. They had the saloon houses and the houses that people partied. And
oh yes, we also had a black saloon up on Bank Street.
Yeah, I can remember all of this. All of this.
Yeah. See, it was a house right there on that corner of Vine and Grove. That's Vine and Grove. That's where it was a place there, and it was a cleaning.
We're gonna ride down Church Street a little. Now, were there any businesses down here on Church Street?
No businesses on Church. You'd find them on Vine and Bank Street. Black businesses. Now, right over there is where Dr. Pleasant used to live when he was practicing here.
Right here?
That's right.
I heard about Dr. Pleasant. Now, the old Sykes house.
It was right on that next corner.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna ride by there, but it's gone now, isn't it?
Yes.
I remember that house. On this little bit of street over here.
And the original house was further down on this street. Now, this is the Cashin lot here. All right, that's the Cashin's lot over there. Now, that was given to King's Memorial Church. Right over there, all of that.
Okay. And over here
is a site. The Cashin. Excuse me, that's the Cashin place on that end.
Okay. That's King's Memorial Community Garden over there.
I know. A lady told me she was going to send me some turnip greens. But
yeah, they burned up. They were all burned up, and they're coming back.
The Sykes lived on Lafayette Street.
Okay.
Not in this block like.
Yeah, we're still on Church Street. You know, I remember on Church Street also, Miss Banks, it was a store. And this is when I was a young child, 7, 8, 9 years old. It was a store on Church Street, which some people on right down from St. Stephen Church. And then Steve Wynn had a service station.
Yes, he did.
Now, what about the school teachers that live here?
Mrs. Deakins lived there. She owned that house.
Now, you know, that was a store down here, Miss Banks.
Yes. It was a nice store. And really, he had most of the black business until Tip Top moved up further.
Was it right here, Miss Banks?
Yeah, the store was out there.
Okay. Now, what was that?
That was built later. That's a house, I think.
Yeah, but it's a large place. So I'm just saying, it's a large, not for the
Yeah,
Masonic.
yeah.
But okay, now I remember when Mr. Smithers ran that store. And he had a house over here. Now, was he the first owner or somebody else? Lakeside House. I can remember the band.
Yes, yeah. And the games they played, see, they had an area where they could really play.
What happened? Why did they, I felt like that it was wrong to take the high school away from the black people. Why couldn't they had bus white kids over here to go to our high school? Why did we get the
We were not sick. We were blacks stayed in the black sections and the whites stayed in the white sections. There were no mixture anywhere until after the 60s.
But when they decided to integrate, so why did they take this school and shut it down and then force the blacks to go to the white schools? Why couldn't they come over here?
That is a $64 question that I cannot answer.
Okay.
It's because of the desegregation, and they didn't want to They still run buses from here though, because most of the children come here and get a bus to go to Eastwood.
Well, the reason why I asked you that is because I can remember kids my age and older than me that we felt like that we were deprived. I mean, that's all you look forward to was going to Lakeside High School. And a lot of kids my age now felt like that the blacks in this community didn't fight hard enough to keep the school.
They may not have.
Now we on Lafayette.
Keep on up a little further now.
Okay.
I'll show you where the sites is.
Now we on Lafayette.
Now this is where, right in here, is where the site home was.
And then King's Memorial was right here. Was it facing this street right here?
Yeah, King's Memorial was on this area facing McCartney Street. See, this is really part of the church.
Over there, you were telling me about a tailor.
Yes.
First black tailor.
First black tailor stayed there first, but it has always, he was the only one that owned it. He sold it out, just like the house up on the corner that was sold to Dr. Woods. And then later, the undertaker had that house on the corner, across from me.
Well, do anybody live in that house now?
Yes, but the lady's sick, and so they're just keeping it. Now, see, this used to be a street. Now, that's where my grandfather lived, up on the end of that street.
Really? Right by the water? Oh, I bet that was nice.
It was beautiful. Beautiful.